Following the easing of the COVID-19 regulation some 6 months ago, Uganda's economy is reported to be on the right footing on its recovery drive, according to a World Bank report. Now, despite the adverse effects of the global health crisis and the impact of the Ukrainian conflict, the World Bank said the Ugandan GDP grows by over 4% in the first half of 2022. Cognizant of the recent soaring prices of food commodities in this African country, experts observe that the vulnerable class need to be supported. Here's more details of that in this report.
After ditching coronavirus restrictions in January this year, Uganda bounced back into a strong economic recovery, with GDP growing by 4.3% in the first half of 2022, according to new data from the World Bank. The recovery was supported mainly by the services sector, including leisure and entertainment, hotel and food services. However, recent shocks, including the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict, are threatening livelihoods.
We have been working with the government to try to come up with some social protection space in terms of an area where we can do more to try to target those who need help and make sure that they are supported. And I believe the cabinet already has a paper out on, or approved rather, on social protection. And there are some efforts now to try to start to move into the design of a program to reach those who really need the help the most.
The latest Uganda Economic Update report by the World Bank shows rising commodity prices and disruption to trade and supply chains are worsening conditions for many households, especially those in urban areas just recovering from the severe effects of the COVID-19 restrictions. Economic analysts suggest the government's planned social protection programs should target low-income households.
We must address the poor. This country must address that 80% of the people through identifying those who can produce and supporting them, giving higher price to people who produce cotton, coffee. Let them get a higher price. You're going to produce more.
World Bank figures show Uganda's economy will grow at 3.7% this year, lower than pre-pandemic projections of over 6%. Uganda is trying to fast-track the exploitation of its oil and gas resources, a move expected to boost the country's economy. But the World Bank argues the revenues from oil and gas may not immediately reach the pockets of those who need it most.
It's really a matter of making sure that we keep the diversification of the economy at the forefront, and we don't put all our eggs into the oil and gas basket, but rather we continue to try to move people out of subsistence into commercial agriculture for them to then, really get the benefits of the economic changes that are expected out of the oil production.
The report recommends accelerated vaccination efforts to avoid the resurgence of COVID-19, but also cautions the government to keep a lid on debt levels to help the economy shift from a fragile situation to a more resilient one.